What's good, my YouTube people? Your boy Joey here with Branch Life. Getting it cracking first thing in the morning. That's how we do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's popping off. The civil unrest is here. I called it a couple months back. I mean, anybody with their eyes open would have called that as well. I knew it once it was start getting nice. Just wait for the false flag, wait for something to get the civil unrest to begin. And it took the death of another black man to do so. But again, the quote-unquote outrage has hit the masses, and they have decided to use that as a reason to go out and protest. And those protests have turned out into basically just mob rule, mob mentality, and looting local businesses. It's a shame that people can't see past the propaganda and the programming. It's a shame the state of just the mental capacity of the citizens of this country, not realizing that they are pawns, not realizing that they are being set up to fail. I mean, I've seen this movie over and over again. This is like a repeat on AMC we had the Baltimore riots. We had, this was during like Obama's campaign. Like, I think at that point the world wasn't ready for what is currently happening right now. You have just everything is perfectly set up to put us into some type of, martial law. We're back in during the Baltimore riots. It didn't happen. It was just kind of centralized to that location. But with the COVID-19 lockdowns, people just kind of getting fed up about what they're being told, not knowing what they can believe, being told to stay at home, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, you can't go here, you can't go there, people losing their jobs, people losing wages, people losing businesses. The frustration is at a boiling point. And of course, perfect timing, a black man is murdered by police. And of course, the media runs with it, just kind of flicking that proverbial match to the fire or to the gasoline and waiting for it to combust, and it's combusting. I wake up this morning to, my Instagram. I follow certain accounts, and all I see is just straight mob rule scenes out of what looks like The Purge, but in real life. In Minneapolis, in St. Paul, in Los Angeles, in Portland, in Atlanta. I mean, the best part, not that the best part of people out in the streets burning down their communities, but seeing CNN get blasted was pretty hilarious. I mean, they're responsible for a lot of this fake news media garbage that the plebeians just eat up, like just slop. And sadly, not enough people have the wherewithal or the discernment to see that they are being manipulated, that they are being conditioned. And it was great seeing people out there saying, F you, CNN, breaking the glass, graffitiing their walls. And like I said, I mean, it's not good, I guess, necessarily to, enjoy other people's falls, but with them it's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend to be this holier than thou person. I'm definitely not. I know where I came from. I know, and every day I'm grateful I was saved, because I was on a fast one-way ticket to hell. So I am grateful every day of my life that God pulled me and called me to Him. But at the same time, when I see, what these conglomerate media corporations are doing, it's kind of nice to see them get their just desserts. So at that, I'll have a nice little chuckle and move on with my life. But going back to the social unrest, it's like what people don't realize is you're basically ruining your own community. You're taking these multi-million-dollar corporations, these Targets, these auto parts stores. Like, what do they have to do with that police officer murdering that man. It had nothing to do. That's where at that point it moves from we are trying to stick up for the citizenries in this country, whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, whatever color you are. It's about time that people just said, you know what, it's time to police the police. I'm going to be truthful with you and honest with you. I don't really have this high. I don't put the police on a pedestal. Honestly, I don't see why they're held above the normal citizenry. It's like you chose that job. You chose to put yourself in danger. So now you want people to kiss your ass? I'm sorry, I can't. I know there's some really good police officers out there trying to make a difference, but a lot of the time it's a bunch of power-hungry pieces of crap that, are looking for a nice fat pension, that like having that position of power to being able to, intimidate, coerce, and just throw their weight around to normal people like you and I. So it's like I respect their job in the sense of, they put themselves in danger, but don't expect to be lauded as heroes. You chose that job. Nobody put a gun to your head and said, you need to be a cop. No, you go in it with the idea of, it's going to be, a pretty kick-ass job. I'm going to get a nice check. I'm going to get a nice pension. I get to wear a gun on my hip. Chicks dig guys in uniform mentality. Nobody told you to go do it. Just like when I was younger, I chose to join the military when I was really young. I don't talk about it a lot, but all I wanted was college money. I wasn't this Rambo gun-ho guy. I went through basic training, AIT. Then I had just a difference in opinion in where my career was going there, and I exited. So, nobody forced me to go and do that. And it's like I respect all my former battle buddies, and we were all in there for whatever different purposes. I was 19 years old at the time. I was meeting kids 18, already married, looking to the military as a way to be able to, live a life that they probably couldn't do being, married at 18 years old. You had dudes that had no way out, that were from the hood, that were looking to just get out. They joined the military. You had dudes that had been in trouble with the law that were there because it's either that or jail. And then, you did have your guys that I had met, that it was a family tradition. One guy I met when I was in AIT, his dad was a Green Beret. So, you have all walks of life entering the military. You have all walks of life entering into, let's say, the police. But it's like all these jobs are just jobs. Nobody tells you to go and sign up, and you get all the fringe benefits that come along with it. Now, back to these people out here rioting, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous in the sense of you're not hurting the people that are authoritarian. You are hurting your communities. You are hurting the business owners. You are hurting the employees of those businesses that now can't go to work because those stores are closed down, and they may not have income coming in. So that's where that mob mentality takes into effect, and it went from potentially being something where it's like, we're tired of the police brutality. We're tired of the corruption. We are tired of all of it. And it has gotten to this point in this country where the elites are looking for a reason to tighten their control on us, put the reins on us, the collar, the leash tighter on us. And these people are out there trying to make a difference. I get it. We're all fed up with it. But you're going at it the wrong way. And now you're allowing the authoritarian government to come in and put a really quick squash to it if they wanted to. They could have the National Guard out there in a minute, issuing curfews, arresting people, like if they really want to. And, my mind takes me to where that is kind of the end game. That is what they want. They're going to allow these people to get completely out of control, overrun a lot of these blue cities. This isn't happening in necessarily rural conservative America. This is happening in some of the more liberal progressive cities that have been turned into kind of just dystopian, pardon my French, shitholes. Portland, Los Angeles, New York, it hasn't happened in Chicago yet. It's in Minneapolis. So it's like, this isn't necessarily happening in more conservative-minded areas. It's happening in those cities that are always wanting handouts, always expecting more. And like petulant children, when they don't get what they want, they go out and seek and destroy their own areas, their own cities. So, it just like, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, I will agree with, yes, putting a stop to corruption, putting a stop to out-of-control politicians, out-of-control police departments. Yes, that's a problem. There needs to be a policing of the police. I've always said, I think if you are to be a police officer, it should only be, let's say, 5-year limit, and then move on, because you get so many of these officers that work in the inner cities that go in there trying to make a difference, and over X amount of years get completely jaded, see that they don't get any respect from the community, see that there is no communication with the community, and it goes from going in there with a desire to help these people to, screw them. They're animals, they're whatever, let them just kind of kill themselves off mentality, and you just have these people now just collecting checks. So my idea was to always just have short terms. Okay, you know what? 7 years after that, thank you for your service. We're going to get the fresh, recruits in, have them out there that still have that desire to want to help. And then as soon as your term's up, then you go to civilian life and you go get a regular 9 to 5 like the rest of us. And I think that would help, in a sense, stop a lot of the hypocrisy, the nepotism, all the things that come along with being in a position of power where you can't easily be fired or let go. You can have multiple reports filed against you, but yet you can still have your job, or you're put on paid leave, and that's what outrages people. That's what gets them out there busting into police departments and burning them down. I'm like, holy cow, this is straight out of a freaking movie. Part of me is like, yeah, whatever, maybe the police does deserve it. But at the other part of me is like, damn, this is going to cost taxpayers money to go and rebuild these police departments. So it's kind of like, what do you do? The citizens need to stick up for themselves. Yes, I agree 100%. I think for a long time, citizens have been taking the brunt of all the crap that rolls downhill that comes from Washington to the states, and the rule of governance. And it's like the mentality shifted from the government is supposed to work for us, the people. Now it's like the mentality is we, the people, need to work for the government. So that's where it's like something needs to happen where people remember that. People remember that the government is supposed to work for them, not the other way around. And that's where, getting rid of these corrupt politicians, getting rid of these corrupt police departments, is that's where it starts. But at the same time, you can't have the mob rule. You can't have total anarchy, because then that doesn't work either. It's like, are you going to want to be goose-stepping in the streets under some type of communist Nazi regime where you have to show your paperwork, where you're limited to what you can do? Or do you want all-out hell breaking loose in the streets, anarchy, people just taking each other out? Like, you have to have something in between where people become more educated and people become a little bit more critical thinking and stop listening to what these talking heads, these media people are telling them, and think for themselves. Like, wake up, people. Get your heads out of your asses. Get your head out of the sand and stick up for your rights, but do it in a way where you're not going to put all of society at danger, or have the government, the totalitarian government, come in here with their military equipment and their military personnel and take over. Because that's what's coming. And that's, I think, the whole end game of what they want of this whole COVID-19 pandemic, was to get people in their houses, cooped up, affect the economy to the point where 50% of small businesses may not reopen. You have 50 million people unemployed that we know of. I mean, who's to say you can even trust these numbers? You know, the government's not going to tell you the truth. Basically, bottom line, if you believe the government is your friend and is telling you the truth, then I'm sorry, but you're a dumbass. They are going to tweak the numbers to make them possibly not look as bad as they are. And when you have a bunch of frustrated people that have been sitting at home for 2 months in fear because they sit in front of the television and be told all this nonsense, they're going to be in fear, they're going to be scared, they're going to be frustrated, they're going to want to take their frustration out into the streets. You know, mob mentality is a crazy thing.
Call rejected.
And it goes from a peaceful protest to just mob rule. It doesn't take much, and you have people like George Soros out there that pays people to become agent provocateurs, that are out there riling up these peaceful protesters that go from being peaceful to, you know what, let's start smashing windows, let's start torching cars, let's start attacking the police and breaking into their police departments. They are being agitated by paid protesters, paid rioters provided by people like George Soros, whether it's the BLM, Antifa, whatever groups are using to do that. That's what they're doing.
Call rejected.
You know, there's so many layers to what's going on right now that people need to see these things. And unfortunately, as much as I want people to see, I know they won't. This morning I was quickly reading the Word. I was in 2 Peter chapter 2. I believe it's chapter 12 and 13. Do yourself a favor. Go read 2 Peter. Just go read 2 Peter chapter 2 and chapter 3. And it'll basically explain everything right there to you of those people that are out protesting. They are basically the unrighteous. They are the ones with the blemishes. They are the ones that are like natural brute beasts that are chasing after their lusts and their covetousness and do not adhere to the rule of law. And it's all there in 2 Peter. The whole chapter is fantastic, but especially verse 12 and 13. I should come into a light real quick, and I'm definitely obviously paying attention while I'm driving, but I'm just going to read it to you real quick, and I'm reading out of the King James. Honestly, do yourself a favor, read out of the King James, please. If you have an NIV, get rid of that. It's just, there's no spirit in that. There's no power in that. But anyways, I digress. But these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak of evil of the things that they understand not, and they shall utter and perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. Having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and heart they have exercised with covetousness, practices cursed children. So right there, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. So it's right there. These people are enjoying this. They're out there rioting in the daytime, and because they're of the flesh, they're not of the spirit. If you're of the spirit, you're not going to be out there rioting. You're not going to be out there protesting. You're going to be praying, and you're going to be waiting for the return of Jesus Christ in the sky, and that's where chapter 3 comes in. And it talks about those that are scoffers, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last day scoffers walking after their own lusts. And all this is the judgment of God happening before us. The media, the news are all going to explain it away. It's COVID, it's global warming, it's the government, it's this and that. No. It is God himself coming to judge us and sending all his judgments before the return of Jesus Christ. And you're going to have those scoffers. Those people are scoffers. They're scoffing this and explaining it away. So get your mind right. Get yourself right with the Lord. And don't be one of those scoffers. And don't be out there rioting. Don't be out there protesting. It's right there. And those verses couldn't have come at a better time. Like I said, I literally woke up this morning, got up, worked out, scrolled through my Instagram, saw some of the videos of the protesters in the streets, and then opened up my Bible to 2 Peter verse 2 and read all that, and I was like, dang. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And I'm going to share this, and thank you for giving me this information to share to anybody watching this video. And it's right there, 2 Peter chapter 2 and chapter 3. Read all of that, and explains it. And the title, at least in my Bible, it's false teachers. And just be mindful of, false teachers. Be mindful of out there, those leading you astray, those telling you that you need to go out there and protest in the streets for the rights of blah, blah, blah. And people don't even know their whole story. It's a shame that man had to die, but that man wasn't a perfect angel. None of us are perfect angels. I'm not. I have a past. We all have past. But the way, that they're honoring this man, not knowing that, he'd been arrested for aggravated assault, held a gun to a woman. I mean, this guy wasn't an angel, and I'm not judging him, but I'm just saying the narrative that they put out there is a different one, and that people need to do their job, their due diligence, and find out the information 100% from both sides so they can form an honest, fact-based opinion on what's going on. Don't get caught up in the swell. Don't become one of those natural beast-minded people that is out there protesting, that is out there going to potentially get hurt, killed, arrested. Don't be one of those people. And I'm not saying as believers we can't do anything. We can pray, and we can wait for the second coming of the Lord, and be excited. But also be fearful, because when he comes, it's not going to be all rainbows, and sunshine. No, he is coming to bring war. He is coming to remove the righteous from the unrighteous, and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pretty. So be prepared for that as well. As a believer, you should be preparing your mindset for that as well, because it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for all, and that's where I'm hoping and I'm truly believing that there is a rapture, and it's a pre-real tribulation rapture. I believe these are the groanings of the beginning of tribulation. It's all there for you. All the natural disasters that are happening in the world, the famine, the disease, the pestilence, the locust infestations, the tyrannical governments. Everything is right there in front of your eyes. And if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you will see all that. But if you're of the natural mind, you're going to get caught up, and you're going to be blinded by all the lies and deceits you're being told. So, I'm going to finish this up real quick, because I can keep going on and on about this. But it's just, what more can you say? Prepare yourself for potential government even further interferes into your life. If these protests begin to get bigger and continue to spread throughout these bigger cities, where it gets to the point that the government decides, we're bringing in the National Guard, and they're going to do that, and that's what they want. I truly, truly believe that the elites want that to happen. This isn't all a coordinated event to bring down and destabilize the United States of America, the last stronghold and beacon of freedom, to an extent of, you do have certain inalienable rights, but they want to take them away. They want to take them away, because the more and more people want safety, they're willing to give away their rights. And that's what's happening right now. People want safety. And guess what? Life isn't easy. Life isn't about safety. For millennia, people have died at all times, just living life. It happens. So you can't live in home in a bubble, isolated from the world, because that's not living. That is not living. That is, to me, a sad and meaningless life. Are they gonna do outright civil war revolution in this country? It's prime for it. I mean, I'm a realist. I can see it happening. I can't see it happening. Is it needed? That depends on your point of view. I mean, I'm putting my faith in God, not the government. I mean, I do live in this country, and I am tired of seeing all the corruption. This is like white collar corruption. It's not like you go to, like, let's say Mexico, where the corruption's in your face. They don't give a damn. It's there. You see it. You know about it. I think, personally, the United States is even more corrupt. They're just smarter about how they go about it. They're more discreet about how they go about it. In those third world countries, they don't give a damn. The corruption is there, it's prevalent, and it's in your face, and there's no need for them to hide who they are. Here, there is a motive of decorum with the corruption, but they're so corrupt. They right now are transferring the wealth of the middle class to the 1%. To the point where there will only be a 1% and a lower class. All your money is going to be gone. All your money is going to be, your dollar bills are going to be worth nothing. Nothing. People don't realize that dollar bills are not money. It is a currency. It is a debt note. It is a promissory note. It's not real, tangible money. The government does not make money. It only takes money. And they're printing and printing and printing. And what do you think is happening to the value of your dollar? It's getting less and less and less. And the minute that these other countries decide, you know what, screw the US dollar, we don't need it anymore as a world reserve currency, your dollar is bye-bye. Say hello to the next banana republic. You'll be able to use your cash for toilet paper. But people don't realize that because they get so caught up in other nonsense. They're distracting you with these riots. They're distracting you with another police death. They're distracting you with the COVID as to what they are doing to your way of life. Your way of life will be gone soon. And prepare yourself for that. I'm not trying to be a despair merchant. I'm just trying to be a truth teller. And prepare yourself and get yourself in your mind right for what's coming. I'm going to test myself to my uttermost limits, but at the end of the day, I can't 100% guarantee that I am even prepared fully for this. I will try my darndest to be, but we shall see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell, but I'm trying to get myself prepared. Like, for me to disengage from this beast system is what I want. I no longer want to be required to live off the system, to live off the beast. I'm cutting myself away further and further from the materialistic life that most of us lead. The more you live that life trying to keep up with the Joneses, the more you suck off the tit of the beast. And I want off completely, 100%. I want off. That is true freedom. Truly being free is being free from the beast system, accepting the tickets. So there has to be a better way, and only time will tell. And I'm going to put my faith in God. Pray every day. Look to Him for strength. Look to Him for everything, because I am weak. I am nothing without Him. I was nothing before this. Before I knew God, I thought I was somebody, but I was nothing. I was a weak, fragile, pleasure-seeking man. In God, He fills all those voids. Where I am weak, He makes me strong. So, I am so grateful to Him every day because I know the changes that He's done in my life, how He's truly making me and shaping me like just a piece of clay and molding me to the man I need to be, to the man I need to be to guide my family, guide my friends, guide my community, guide myself, guide my people on YouTube, just be that man of God that I need to become. Because before that, like I said, I was halfway to hell already, just living the life I was living, thinking, I was living this amazing rock and roll lifestyle, and that shit does not last. I mean, it's gonna take you nowhere. Seriously, the more I see it, it was gonna take me to a very sad and miserable life. Because once those party days are over, you're left with nothing. What are you left with? A bunch of broken dreams, broken body, broken spirit, broken soul, just alone. I don't know. It's just a sad, sad existence. So, on the bright spot, I have God. He gives me everything I need. He has provided me with an amazing life. And during trials and tribulations, I know I can go to Him to get me out of them. I can count on Him where before it was all on me. Now I know it's on Him, and I can come to Him. If you knock, it will be opened. If you ask, it shall be given. So please do yourself a favor. Get right with God. It's never too late to do so. No matter how broken you think you are, no matter how much shame you have, the minute you truly, truly repent on your sins, on your past discretions, ones that you remember, ones that you don't even remember, you forgive those that have hurt you deeply, and you ask the Lord for forgiveness, knowing that you can't hide anything from the Lord. He sees your life completely for what it is. Ask for forgiveness, and He will give it to you, and it will wash away all your shame. It truly, truly will. It will wash it away. All the guilt, everything is washed away, and you are born again, and you will receive the Holy Spirit of Yahushua HaMashiach, of Jesus Christ. The Spirit that God has given us all who believe on faith that Jesus Christ was real, that He walked the earth, that He was the Son of God, but also God in the flesh. That Spirit is what connects you to God. That Spirit is a Spirit that you can use to pray and to ask, and God, like a good Father, will give it to you. He may not give it to you immediately, but He will give it to you in due season. He will prepare you to receive it. Because a lot of us ask for things, but we're not ready yet to receive those things because we will waste some. And God knows when the time is right. God knows when you are ready to receive what He will give you. So with that, I leave you. God bless you guys. Share, like this video, comment below. Make critical thinking great again.blogspot.com for just some critical thinking, some philosophizing, some thoughts. So you have a blessed day.